Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. What the bloody hell are the Jaguars doing, Perna? And don't tell me they're tanking for Trevor or lowering their win totals for Lawrence if you want to be PC about it. It doesn't matter how long we've been a football organization, we will always be an expansion team. Those inspiring words are written in the Jacksonville locker room so no player ever tries too hard at their Foster football home. In the last 2 days, the Jags traded Yannick Ngakoue to Minnesota and released running back Leonard Fournette. Tomorrow, I predict they cut Gardner Minshew's mustache, even though everyone knows they could have traded it for a case of Bud Light and Trevor Lawrence's real phone number. My apologies for not being on top of the NFL news happening this last weekend, but my baby girl came early. Same way she was conceived, when I think about it. Can I still make those jokes now? Oh, shit. Anyway, yeah, my wife had a baby, and I watched in terror as I realized how utterly unprepared I am to be a man. The fact that I'm built like a 13-year-old Swedish boy should have told me that not long ago, but here we are on another That's Good Sports tangent about my inadequacies in life. Today, though, I'm going to talk about the Jags, Jon Gruden's unique approach to coaching, the Chargers' tradition of watching their best players start the season injured, Alvin Kamara's unexcused absence, and the use of fake crowd noise this season in the NFL. This is the first episode I do as a dad. Yeah! I don't know what sleep is anymore. Sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, or, Today's episode is sponsored by Manscape.com/goodsports and the Perfect Package 3.0 kit, which features high-performance boxer briefs. Great if you want to produce a child. Anytime you can point to your groin and say high performance, do it. The Perfect Package 3.0 comes with the new Lawnmower 3.0, which is a water-resistant body hair trimmer built with skin-safe technology to reduce nicks and cuts down in your penis, balls, pubasic region. Once you have your crotch manscaped to your liking, cover the family jewels with Manscaped's anti-chafing cooling boxer briefs. Your balls need to breathe. They're basically the lungs of your legs. These boxer briefs help them do just that, as they're made from super soft Contour Flex material, which is a microfiber blend that also repels moisture. So if you don't want to suffocate your balls, go to manscaped.com/goodsports with my link below to get 2 free gifts now, plus 20% off and free international shipping. All right, Jon Gruden is getting so creative with his coaching methods that he reached out to the great Phil Jackson. Not for philosophical coaching advice, but on how best to turn his football team into a basketball team. Bleacher Report tweeted this picture of Henry Ruggs that read, "Raiders building a basketball team at war." Whatever the fuck that means. We have ours with Ruggs running point and a whole lot of scorers around him. That's what a Raiders coach told Matt Miller from Bleacher Report. Even as a metaphor, that doesn't really add up. Why the hell is your wide receiver running point? That's a quarterback's job. The good news for the rest of the AFC West is that the Raiders coaches don't appear to be knowledgeable in any sport. And even if their wartime basketball team comes together, it will be perfectly assembled to lose both on the field and on the court. Happy endings are usually reserved for when talking about Robert Kraft, but today there's no alternate meaning to happy ending. After going missing for 3 days following a berry-picking trip in Florida, which is what elderly men do in Florida, which is why I think they are called elderberries, the father of Bengals cornerback Mackensie Alexander was officially found on Thursday. According to reports, Alexander's father, Gene Odney Alexander, rescued himself by walking up to a ranger station in Kissimmee Prairie Preserve State Park and was reported to be in good health. After seeing this photo of Mackenzie's father, my response is, no shit. That's a 65-year-old man? I'm guessing he got bored with picking berries and went and killed an alligator with his bare damn hands. Now, usually these stories never end well. Missing person cases too often become recoveries rather than rescues, especially in Florida, so it's extremely refreshing to hear this one turn out well. Doubly refreshing in a year when everything that could go wrong has gone off a fucking cliff. The Jacksonville Jaguars, aka the Last Chance U of the NFL, officially released running back Leonard Fournette this AM after 3 seasons with the team. Now, Leonard, or Lenny, as I will call him in tribute to one of the all-time great Simpsons characters.
So long, dental plan!
Lisa needs braces. Dental plan. Lenny had 2 1,000-yard rushing seasons in Jacksonville and was coming off of his best performance with 1,152 yards and 4.3 yards per carry. And he had 522 receiving yards, but not very efficient receiving yards as those were on 76 receptions. I will note, however, that if you remove the game where he put up 225 yards against the Broncos before they realized they should play linebacker Alexander Johnson, he's well under that 1,000-yard mark. Even with that game, he only scored 3 touchdowns in 2019, causing fantasy players to poop their collective diapers. Now, the surprising thing here is that the Jags couldn't get anything in exchange for Leonard Fournette. Literally nothing for a first-round back with 2,000-yard rushing seasons. Not even Bill O'Brien sniffed around. Fournette is a decent back, so some team will get moderately better in the backfield. Maybe Seattle, who always needs extra running backs, or maybe a team like Las Vegas, who has questionable depth behind Josh Jacobs. Or maybe nowhere. This is a league where Devontae Freeman is still unsigned. So is Jadeveon Clowney. Teams are figuring out not to give star money to players who aren't stars or are too inconsistent. A consistent player who is a star, Saints running back Alvin Kamara, is deciding to not show up to practice and is demanding a new contract. Kamara has been gone for 3 straight days, which have been labeled as unexcused absences by the team, which is much better than my unexcused abstinence in high school and college. Kamara deserves a new contract. We all know that. I think he will eventually get one, though New Orleans didn't value Mark Ingram, and the timing of this holdout is terrible. The Saints don't have any cap room next year. I think they're going to be like 30+ million over the cap, and I'm not even sure if that factors in if the cap's going to drop yet. So actually, I don't know if the Saints will give Kamara a new contract. Anyway, the Saints drafted Kamara in the 3rd round, the same year the Jags drafted Fournette 4th overall. That's the real tragedy of the Leonard Fournette pick in 2017. All of the backs they could have had instead. At number 8, Christian McCaffrey. Then you've got Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, James Conner, Tariq Cohen, Marlon Mack, Aaron Jones, Chris Carson, Austin Eckler. When undrafted, literally any back at any point in that draft would have been a better choice. And then just to throw some salt in that open Duval wound, there of course was Mahomes and Watson available. Now, prior to Fournette, Yannick Ngakoue was finally traded to Minnesota for a 5th-round pick that could turn into a 4th round if Ngakoue goes to the Pro Bowl, and a 3rd if he goes to the Pro Bowl and the Vikings win the Super Bowl. Essentially, Ngakoue took $6 million less just so he didn't have to play in Jacksonville. Now, Field Yates pointed out that the Vikings now have an elite duo on all 3 levels of the defense. Hunter and Ngakoue on the defensive line, Kendricks and Barr at linebacker, and Smith and Harris in the secondary. Or as I call it, the 2017 Jaguars defense. Let's take a moment, though, to honor all of the players who have now exited that once prominent Saxonville defense, now just called Empty Sack. Jalen Ramsey, Yannick Ngakoue, AJ Boye, Calais Campbell, Dante Fowler, Marcel Darius, Malik Jackson, Aaron Colvin, Tashawn Gibson, Barry Church, and of course, Telvin Smith, who famously retired early so he could go have sex with underage girls. The only thing I think that makes some sort of sense is that this is a brilliant money-making ploy by the Jaguars to bolster jersey sales despite their lack of popularity. They are the only team I have ever seen try to build around a young quarterback by not building around him at all. The Jags defense is the Trump border wall of the NFL, a fantasy once popular in 2017, and not built to last. Quarterback Gardner Minshew is now like a king on the Jacksonville chessboard, and the Jags, well, they have just surrounded him with pawns and delusions and Bud Light endorsements. Gardner Minshew is partnered with Bud Light to make this indie film.
Never doubt that you're the one, and you can have your dream. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. And nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
If you want to win your fantasy league, pick me first. Knocked out communism, but if that's not convincing enough, beer season.
The Chargers are probably starting the season without safety Derwin James and wide receiver Mike Williams, which is par for the course in the Chargers. Derwin James had a great rookie season, but was hurt for the first 11 games this last year, and sounds like he will miss significant time again after requiring meniscus surgery. It's almost turning into a Bob Sanders situation, where if he plays a full season, he could win Defensive Player of the Year, but rarely can stay healthy. The Mike Williams injury is also a blow because we know Keenan Allen gets all of the attention, but Mike Williams is quietly a huge playmaker and averaged 20 yards a reception last year, while Allen averaged just 11.5. I'd argue he's more valuable than Keenan Allen, even though Hard Knocks talked about Allen like he's Jerry Rice with the beard. The Chargers' Mike Williams is also clearly the best of the Mike Williamses to play wide receiver in the NFL over the last 20 years. Here's a photo of Bill Belichick and Cam Newton standing together. The last time we saw two fashion icons like these come together was in 2001, when famed designer Mugatu teamed with Derek Zoolander for the Derelict collection. And finally, the NFL is going to set a limit on the fake crowd noise being pumped into stadiums this season, and right now the range they're considering is somewhere between 70 and 85 decibels. For reference, 70 to 85 decibels is roughly how loud a vacuum cleaner is, or a noisy restaurant, or in my case, a newborn screaming. I'm not sure that really makes a difference though, but it might also be something. Crowd noise is a relative term, however. In Philly, crowd noise means some guy in the third row telling you he hopes your entire family dies. In Kansas City, crowd noise is a Native American chant from a white guy with his jersey tucked into his khakis. And of course in Boston, crowd noise means hearing the N-word on repeat for 60 minutes. I hope every team gets to keep their respective types of crowd noise, but at a listening range that the league deems fit. And yes, the Chargers are worried about playing home games with any noise whatsoever. And I did it. I made it through an episode as a sleep-deprived father. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Jesus, I've got a family to provide for now. Maybe a developing speech impediment. I don't know, but I need your sub. Please, God. What am I? Who am I? Oh.